Hi, I'm Mr. eTutor, your mystery tutor here at mysterytutor.com, and welcome to video module 7-6. In the previous video module, we discussed how you can separate the improving sentences questions on the writing multiple choice portion of the SAT into two groups. One group has underlined portions that are 5 words long or longer, and the other group has underlined portions that are 4 words long or shorter. In this module, we'll discuss how to use some non-grammatical standards to figure out probable answer choices for the first group of improving sentences questions. Again, these are the ones with 5 words or more underlined. Our goal in using these standards is to find a non-grammatical way to reliably identify what might be the correct answer for these questions. We want to use a non-grammatical approach because these are typically the easiest to understand and the least likely to mess up. My particular approach is based on easily recognizable attributes of the answer choices to these questions. On each improving sentences question that you see, you're going to try to evaluate all 3 of these standards for that question. If an answer choice is indicated by more than one of the standards, that's very likely to be the correct answer choice. Although, as we've noted for other question types, you should never make a choice based solely on the standards that we discuss. Instead, use the standards as a sort of indicator to back up your own intuition. Remember, only choose an answer choice based on a certain knowledge that it is correct. So, without further ado, here are the 3 standards for the long underlined portions of improving sentences questions. We'll call these questions Type 1 questions. The first standard is that the correct answer choice is more likely to be the shortest answer choice than we would expect from probability. If there are 5 answer choices per question and there was no bias in favor of the shortest answer choice, we would expect the shortest answer choice to be correct roughly 20% of the time. In fact, it's much closer to 50 or 60% of the time. So we can see that the College Board has a strong bias in favor of the shortest answer choice. Again, I'm not suggesting you pick the shortest answer choice without actually reading the question. But remember that the shortest answer choice is more often the correct answer choice than it should be. The second standard is that correct answers for Type 1 improving sentences questions tend to avoid words that end in ed or ing. Again, just to reiterate for the 3rd time now, you do not simply choose the answer choice that has the fewest ed or ing words. Rather, you consider this standard in conjunction with all the other standards and with your gut. But do be aware that the correct answer choices to these questions tend to avoid words that end in ed or ing. Finally, the 3rd standard is that correct answer choices to Type 1 improving sentences questions tend to avoid words that have less than 5 letters in them. As I said just a few seconds ago, and I'm saying again, do not pick an answer choice just because it has the smallest number of short words. But do be aware that, generally speaking, Type 1 questions tend to favor answer choices that avoid short words, words less than 5 letters long. Now, before you start shaking your head at me and telling me that this can't possibly be the best way to approach these questions, let me explain where these 3 standards come from. We've already discussed that the College Board has decided that the best answer choices for Type 1 improving sentences questions tend to be the most concise and the least wordy. So that pretty much explains the bias in favor of the shortest answer choice. What you may not be aware of is that one of the College Board's favorite ways to make an answer choice incorrect, in other words, to make an answer choice more wordy and less concise, is to inject unnecessary verb phrases into it. These verb phrases typically include words that end in ing or ed, which is why we have the 2nd standard, which tells us to try to avoid words ending in ed or ing if we can. Finally, another way that the College Board tries to make sentences less concise is to inject other extraneous phrases into them. And those phrases tend to need connective kind of words to hold them into the main sentence. These can be conjunctions like and, but, or yet, relative pronouns like this and that, or prepositions like as and by. Rather than try to explain to you the grammatical concepts underlying these ideas, it's much easier to say, hey, try to count the letters. If there's a lot of words with less than 5 letters, that's a bad sign. So there you have it. 3 completely non-grammatical, completely quantifiable standards that will reliably predict the correct answer choices on authentic improving sentences questions by the College Board. Remember, if you're preparing for the SAT with any source besides this book, I cannot guarantee that these standards will work. The standards only work on real SAT questions written by the College Board, which is what you should be preparing with because when you take the SAT for real, it's going to be a real SAT written by the College Board. Thanks very much for watching this, and remember, When you have a multiple choice grammar test, you don't actually need to know grammar to do well on the test. All you need to know is what standards describe the correct answer choices reliably, and that's what we're discussing here. Thanks very much for watching, enjoy the upcoming videos, and remember, it's easier than you think.